Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast.
Myers.
Hello, my name is Lee.
Hey Lee, got a little message for you.
Hello? Travis!
Brother Michael, I knew you'd come.
Fucking watching Matt Hardy promos again.
Yeah, I've been watching way too much Matt Hardy. Hey, welcome back. He's back.
Seriously, dude, I'm not fucking 12 years old. What is that supposed to scare me or something? All it does is make me think less of you. Fucking TNA.
It'd be original.
At least I'm ripping myself off, right?
Yeah.
Logan, man, thank you so much for joining us. Tell everyone one more time we can check out Future Pro Wrestling and where we can find you.
Yeah, you fucker.
And on Facebook, YouTube, just on a search bar. And guys, I will be back. Clash of Champions. I think they changed the name. They took out the Champions out of the pay-per-view name. I will be back for the post pay-per-view review. Guys, tonight's been great. We saw
Wish I could say the feeling was mutual.
Championships tonight.
We did?
Yes, we did.
Wish I could say the feeling was mutual, but not having the greatest show tonight. Everybody's jumping down my fucking throat.
Well, I'm a little fed up.
For fuck's sake.
He was on Austin's podcast, Del Wilkes, the original Patriot, talk about his drug addiction. Like, he would take, 27 Percocets a day.
Holy shit.
And this was, when that was going on. It's crazy.
Holy shit.
But I'm glad he turned it around. He's still alive. Knock on wood. Michael, this also had Max Mini defeated El Torito.
I remember the original El Torito.
This was that beginning of the fascination
not that bullshit El Torito that came along later in the little mini.
Wait, did he have army gear on or something?
Yeah.
Who's the one with the fat midget with army gear?
He was way bigger than Max Mini. And this wasn't the El Torito from a couple years ago that was in fucking the little mini TLC match with Hornswoggle. So
this was the real fucking
This is
deal.
the original El Torito.
And you did, this was one of the best.
And Vince was announcing this match. I just remember Vince was he was so lackluster for this match. You could tell he hated this. But he put it on because he thought it was going to draw because of Max Mini.
Well, goddamn, Hoovie's on Nitro, so get a Mexican out there.
I was excited, and then this shit happened. Oh my god, dude. Just Travis, I know you missed a lot of this.
I walked out. Legit.
Just a quick rundown on this.
I said, fuck it, Michael's taking
the whole
this.
concept on this match just ruined it from the get-go. They announced that they're going to start in the house, and then they have to come to the arena and finish the match in the ring. That's how this match works.
Before you get it all out, because I didn't see it, I just want to say, I said that I walked out 2 minutes in. Over a year of doing shows, this is what, 54, 55 episodes, something like that? How many fucking Titus O'Neil matches have I sat through to review, but this made me walk out in 2 minutes? You may have the floor.
They cut to Randy Orton in a limo, pulling up to this house that's all lit in, blue. This house, you could tell it's just fucking lighting that's making this house look blue as shit, like it's supposed to look spooky or something.
Boogie boogie.
Yeah, the door magically opens without anybody opening it, and Orton walks towards the house, and the shit fest begins. Nothing but hokey fucking horror film cutscenes.
You're getting all gravelly. The more you talk about it, you get gravelly.
Ugh.
You're aging. This match aged you.
It really did. It hurt me to watch it, to be honest, but I had to watch it because I knew it was going to be terrible. This was worse. I think this was worse than the Boiler Room Brawl.
I tweeted out, this made the Boiler Room Brawl look like Flair versus Steamboat.
Jesus
it was fucking
Christ.
awful. It was terrible.
I mean, aside from the fucking cheap horror film cutscenes that they did in this, it looked like they were trying to film a scene in a movie here instead of a fucking wrestling match.
Look, I feel like I'm cheating everyone. I'm taking away from your fucking fury, and you're being timid because I keep poking in. So
No.
Fine, I've been here 2 seconds, and I've seen the greatest jacket I've ever seen in my life.
Slam Pigs podcast season, I don't even know, because it's been that long since the OG show of the channel, Slam Pigs, has returned. We're back, and it's not Slam Pigs. We've tried replacements, we've tried spin-offs, we've tried bullshit. There's only one man that can take the co-chair on this show. Mike Slam Pig. Welcome back, my man. It's so good to have you back. We're doing it again weekly. Christmas season. I hope everyone had great holidays. How was your holidays, even though we spent it together and it was good?
Holidays were great. Thank you.
Welcome back, man. Where can everyone catch you on Twitter that you don't use?
You can check me out at Mike the Slam Pig on Twitter. Also, I'm on Facebook, but I don't really use either one that much, so sorry if you're looking for any kind of response.
I know for a fact, I know a certain guy named Jim, you have been so missed on this channel in general. Thank you for deciding to come back. You know, a guy who just said, fuck, it's just like, hey, you want to bring the show back? Sure. And here we are.
Over 2 years in the making. It is a Slam Pigs reunion. I'm sure there will be some later guests at a later time.
You know, Logies Hoagies will be here.
The King of Cold Cuts.
Lee has been confirmed to make a return, Michael.
Lay.
It's crazy to think our very first show doing this was Fastlane 2016. That was our very first show. On a cell phone at my old kitchen table.
Now we're moving on up to the east side.
Literally to the east side. To the east coast.
That's
Northeast. Right. Moving back. Been on more planes than Ric Flair in 86 this year, but I'm back. It's good to be back.
Did you have a private jet?
Wish I did. Some smelly people in Southwest Airlines. As always on Twitter at TheHibikaDMD. Hit that red button right down below. All the goodness, retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal podcast, everything in between, and every Monday Night Melee, Broken Optics on Twitch. Quite a few things have changed, Michael. But as hyped as we are to be back, as good as it feels to be back, sadly, of course, 2020.
Gotta start off with another one of these.
2020 just keeps doing it to us, man. Not only the legendary Danny Hodge, who, I mean, lived a full life. Yeah. I mean, John Hubert, Brody Lee, Luke Harper passed away.
Age of 41. Very, very young man.
What a sad situation this is, Michael.
Such a great talent in the ring, and from what I've heard, a great guy to be around outside of the ring. Great family man. Really did a lot for the wrestling business. Kind of started out from nowhere and made a name for himself. Really did a lot of things that some of you may not realize. So I know he debuted in WWE back in 2012. This is after working Ring of Honor.
Officially,
Shikara. Yeah, he started out in Bray Wyatt's stable. Of course, the Wyatt family. Yeah. Then I think they were 3-time tag champs with Eric Rowan.
That match of the year versus the Shield Elimination Chamber. That's still talked about today.
Yeah, that
holds
was a great
up.
Match. Actually, IC champion as well, one time.
Mm-hmm.
He held the IC belt.
He could have been this generation's Bruiser Brody, I feel like.
He definitely had the look. He definitely had the Bruiser look. I don't know that his style was really that similar to Brody.
He's a hybrid big man.
He was definitely. I think he was actually more athletic than Brody.
I would say.
He could definitely work for a big guy. And I was really sad when WWE let him go. I know he wanted his release, but then he moved over to AEW, of course, here 2019.
Yep, Mr. Brody Lee, part of the Dark Order, and now for good or bad, whether you like or hate
the
it,
leader, right?
he was the leader. He was the exalted one. Remember they teased that for a
Yeah.
while. Whether you loved or hated, that's irrelevant right here. He beat Cody for the TNT title, and I felt like he was booked dominant in that match. That was one of the few things I agree with AEW did right all year booking wise with Cody, was the way Brody Lee just kicked the shit out of him. And they did this angle lately where like the Dark Order like kicked him out, and like, so, I don't know. Keep it up with AEW these days for me for one, but we will get there.
Don't even
Wait.
get me started.
Way too soon, way too young. So sad for his kids and his wife right the day after fucking Christmas, man.
It's awful. Our prayers and condolences definitely go out to his wife and family from the Slam Pigs. You will be missed.
Yeah.
Brody, John Huber,
Lukey,
Luke Harper, however you want to remember him.
rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Rest in peace. But let's pick it up.
On
Let's
a positive note, why are we here, Travis?
we are not only here to celebrate our grand return. This is for those who used to listen to us back in the day. Shout out to Rocky Baya, people like
Yeah.
that. Year-end awards time, baby. We got Michael. You made a list. I'm so
did.
impressed.
I came prepared.
On written
That's right.
notebook
You hear
paper.
this paper?
That's the paper.
I wrote on it.
That's not my
I wrote on
joints.
it.
That's
That's
his paper.
I wrote on it. I got some topics. We got some categories to go over. We're going to do our annual, well, I guess tri-annual.
Re-annual.
Yes, our re-annual year-end awards. Now, guys, from me, I don't watch much AEW. You guys will find that out later on. I know a lot of you are looking for my hot takes.
If you love AEW, prepare to hate this show for the most part.
You're not going to like me a whole lot.
There's not. Let's do that real quick. You don't hate everything. They do some things right, but I think the thing is, the things they do right, then they do overkill with it.
I think a lot of it just doesn't make sense to me. From what they said they were going to do to what they actually did.
Yeah.
They said they were going to go off people's records and stuff like that and have a ranking
yeah,
system.
Yeah, and
Like-
you and I talked about for years with the NWA ranking system, like 89.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
concept.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But they're still pretty much just booking it however they want, no matter what your record is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not to mention that TNT belt. Looks like my 4-year-old made it. Not going to lie to you.
I thought he did. I thought that's why it took so long and got delayed.
But there's so much talent in AEW, but I feel like booking-wise, it's such a clusterfuck. Like, who's doing what? Why are they doing that? Please explain it to me. The match quality, I will say, for the most part, is definitely up there with WWE, but I don't think it's like the be-all, end-all that a lot of these internet fucking trolls are making it to be like, oh, this is so much better.
I will say it is a real an episode of AEW Dynamite does have something usually for everybody.
Yeah.
That's one thing I feel like Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara did best with Crash TV and the Attitude Era. There was something on Raw or SmackDown for everybody, but that becomes it desensitizes you and it makes you subconsciously expect a format, right? For me, the best wrestling shows are not only streamlined, but there's a sense of unpredictability to them. And not only that, a lot of this shit feels like a parody promotion. A lot of these guys aren't ready for prime time. And we all know my thoughts on Joey Janela and that match with Kenny Omega. That was pathetic. That's your world champion. And I gotta say, I'll come clean. You can give me shit. We might as well. We're back, baby. I like what they're doing with Omega, this traveling champion being on Impact. There's no reason this is how Kenny Omega should be booked as a cock, because I can't stand the fuck to begin
It's
with.
like old school Ric Flair, just traveling around the territories.
Don
defending
Callis,
the belt.
Don, tremendous. You seen a lot of that stuff? The
I
Impact.
did see the angle. I like the angle. I'm just worried that this is going to cause them to not be able to focus on their own talent enough. I realize what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
They're trying to build suspense, and they're trying to do the one thing that the wrestling business, that WCW and WWE never really did, and that was like coordinated angle together.
Yeah.
You would have never saw that with WWE and WCW. But you're seeing it with TNA and AEW. I do like it. I'm just worried that a lot of their mid-card talent is going to get kind of falling through the cracks there.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to utilize a lot of those guys. Like their tag team division, I think is-
Impact, AEW.
both.
Both,
I
yeah.
think both tag team divisions
Oh.
are right up there with WWE, if not better.
I would say they're better because they're actual teams. They're not. A lot of the teams WWE. Let's admit it. They've always been thrown together,
Exactly. Vince isn't a big tag team fan.
broken up for no reason.
Correct. And the one thing I think is really going to help AEW with this co-promotion, it's really going to help their women's division a lot, because it's no secret that the big knock on AEW is their lack of talent in the women's division.
And it's not like people got to go out of their way. It's not like people are being edgy or con. Do you know why that is, Michael? Do you know why? It's no matter who's doing a podcast right now, that is usually 90%, 99% of the time the biggest fucking complaint. Because people have eyes! And they see this shit. And it's, besides Thunder Rosa and Sheeta, who goddamn needs a character, and certain Britt Baker's tremendous heel. There's some work there to be done in the ring, but we can get around that. Less is more. Learn with these women, when you got a Britt Baker, don't have her in there like she's working for Ice Ribbon or Shimmer in fucking Japan. You know, everyone's got their own style and their own way to pull off a good match. Anyone's capable now. There's been cases over the years, Johnny Gonzalez, Bastion Booger, Nia Jax, that's just not going to happen.
My biggest complaint with AEW, especially in the women's division, tell me a fucking story, please. Why are we
Besides, Britt Baker's a bitch.
Yes. Can I have something like during the match? Can you story tell in the ring?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times I'm watching a fucking Fabulous Moolah match. It's just one move after another. Nothing makes any fucking sense. And it just looks like one big clusterfuck because they're trying to get all their shit in the 5 minutes that TNT's given them for a women's match. It's like Attitude Era women for WWE. It's kind of what they're doing with AEW.
Not to mention Brandy Rhodes on a microphone.
Oh, God.
Did you happen to see Jade Cargill, the debut?
I did not.
Lucky man. There's a lot of work to be done. We will get down the road data. Michael, you go down the list of categories. We're going to go from bottom to top, I'm assuming. Yep. What have we got on tap for tonight?
Bottom, now we're here.
Category number one, award number one tonight is, Michael.
We're going to start out with one of my favorites. I don't think we've ever done this one before on the awards show. That's why I wrote it down. Best Jobber.
Enhancement talent.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lower card talent.
Guy that's there to get others over.
Correct.
But still making good living.
Exactly.
And these awards across all the boards, all companies.
Could be, yep. Travis, since this is your house, your house, as Paige would say.
In your house.
In your house, as British Bulldog would say. Who do you like for Best Jobber this year?
My heart wants to say Sean Spears, but I don't like Sean Spears' character. This is gonna be weird. I'm gonna say Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy.
And I'm gonna tell you why. He's not
one of my least favorite wrestlers.
I get it's a guilty pleasure gimmick for me in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like he's been booked weak. He's gotten some big wins over some big guys. Chris Jericho. It's just that character in general and that underdog. It's got to be for me, Orange Cassidy. He just has that perfect David and Goliath type thing. You got to get the gimmick. For me.
I think that's the problem. I don't get it.
And for me, it's been a big thing, too. I like to call it Cornette syndrome at this point. I was in denial of catching up with the times for a long time. Imagine when we were in our teens and the Attitude Era and all that shit came along. Someone that grew up on, like, fucking Luthez or, like, fucking Billy Robinson, and they're trying to catch up with the times. But eventually, you got to accept some things. I get the gimmick. Keep him in the middle of the card, please. I can't stand when Orange Cassidy isn't. Now, you can do it once in a while, but never let him win the big one, in my opinion. But for me, it's got to be Orange Cassidy. That's my pick.
My biggest problem with Orange Cassidy is the gimmick doesn't make sense to me. And I hate to be this guy.
Be that guy. That's why you're here.
I hate to be this guy, but I'm sorry. You're way too small to be standing there with your hands in your pockets, acting like you can beat somebody with no hands. Like, literally, I'm bigger than you. And you're in there with your... I just think it's kind of dumb. It doesn't make sense. I guess if he was bigger, I could get a little... Like, if Braun Strowman went out and put his hands in his pockets...
no effort, kind of. Yeah.
It would make more sense.
Yeah.
But this guy's already at a disadvantage. He's already small. I mean, not to be that guy once again, but AEW...
It makes sense.
They have a lot of smaller guys.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they have a lot of talent. They're just a little smaller. That's why I don't get the gimmick, but I see why a lot of people like the gimmick.
Does that help the case,
different.
though, that he's not in the land of the big men? Does that matter as much in a way, or a little bit less?
I don't think it makes it matter as much, but to me as a fan, to get behind somebody like that, it's going to matter a lot.
You're a body guy, admit it. You've always been a body guy in a way.
I'm fucking Bret
I
Hart
say
fan.
that in a good way.
Yeah.
You feel like a guy's got to have a certain...
To pull off a gimmick, yes.
Yeah.
It has to make sense to
Gary Stridham.
Oh, God. You got your Gary Stridhams and... All right, Lex. But, I mean, to me, the gimmick has to go with the look.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem.
Fair enough.
Everyone knows my favorite wrestler is Bret Hart. His gimmick went with his look. He was a technician. He wasn't going around acting like a powerhouse.
Yeah.
He wasn't going around acting like he was invincible. He told everybody he was going to take an
And
ass
he worked
whooping.
that David and Goliath style
and he
to
was-
a T.
Exactly.
Gave Kevin Nash
maybe the best David and Goliath worker in the business.
Gave Kevin Nash his
Other
best
than
match
Rey Mysterio.
ever. Who gave Kevin Nash a better match? Survivor
Shawn
Series
Michaels,
95.
maybe?
No, not my
Wrestle-
opinion.
You think WrestleMania 11? I thought WrestleMania 11 was pretty good.
I thought Survivor Series 95, Brett and Diesel told a much better match.
Oh, that was great just because of the hardcore nature to it.
Yep.
But everybody knows. But
You're...
on to my pick for best jobber. I don't think it's going to surprise a whole lot of people.
This is actually based on success. The more I think about it, it makes
Yeah.
fucking sense.
I'm going with R-Truth. Who has had a better jobber year than R-Truth at age... I think R-Truth's like 50, right?
pushing.
He's 51, something like
Getting
that.
up there, yeah.
And the guy can still... When they give him a chance to work, the guy is still super athletic, and he's super entertaining to watch. He's funny as fuck. Everyone knows R-Truth's basically a comedy act.
Yeah.
But he's super hilarious. The guy can actually work. I mean, you saw... They put him in a main event with The Rock and Cena at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I mean...
How weird is that now looking back?
Yeah, look at that. How long ago was that? 8 years?
2011?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8-9 years ago. And he's still kicking in the company. He's still on TV every week. And you still get that segment every week with R-Truth in there.
Yeah.
Whether he's trying to be a part of the Hurt Business or he's just running away from random people trying to trick him. To be honest, I know when the 24/7 championship first came out, you and I were not big fans.
Was there a fan that wasn't 8 years old? It was like, oh, new belt to buy at
we
Christmas.
we thought it was stupid, but now looking back on it, I think they've done as good a job with the 24/7 belt as they could have, other than having Mick Foley introduce it. I thought that was really...
Or Akira Tozawa be a fucking ninja, or
Yeah.
pretty much anything they've done. Rick Moss.
Yeah, but I mean, R-Truth, how many title reigns has he
The thing
had?
about
That's
that
just part of
belt
the
is,
comedy.
I don't think that's the thing that the network wanted that belt. That's the funniest thing about it. This
Yeah.
isn't like the WWE when they brought in the 24/7 hardcore title, which I love that. It's
Yeah,
good.
that
That's
was
guilty
cool.
pleasure.
That was
Crash
cool.
Holly in a theme park, that was amazing. But this was forced. Their hand was forced by USA for another belt.
Yeah.
They try. You can't say they made the best out of it by any means, because Gronkowski's held this belt, but the only time the belt's entertaining is when R-Truth has it
R-Truth,
most of the
and
time.
That's one thing you could always say about R-Truth. No matter where you put that guy on the card, you're going to be entertained. The guy is going to give you everything you need from that spot and more. That's why the guy's still in the company, to be honest. I mean,
Company man.
who can take a shit sandwich and turn it into a Caesar salad better than R-Truth?
Who can take a shit sandwich? R-Truth can. Our next category, Michael, is...
We're going to go with our next category today is going to be best stable. Now, this could include some stables that are not still together. Like, what they call, I'm drawing a blank. Never mind.
WWE company?
Yeah, what did they call the stable with Seth Rollins and Murphy, the Disciples or
The
whatever?
Disciple, yeah.
Like that, I'll count that.
Or like
if you-
Zelina and her manly men.
her
Yeah.
Selena and the...
Which, by the way, we're not pricking any of those stables, I'm
No,
assuming.
no. But my stable of the year this year has got to go to the Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business?
The Hurt Business.
They've really turned it
I
around
mean,
as far as their careers.
something that I don't think was meant to really get that over
Yeah.
has really done its job. Maybe the best heel faction I've seen since the Shield when they first came out. I mean, these guys come out. They're I like to call them the big bullies. They like.
Is that what you call them?
That's sort of what I call them. But they come in the back just to a random little guy and just pour milk on his head.
Yeah.
And then they go out and they beat everyone's ass.
Now they're holding all the gold
Now they got
by
the
year's
tag
end.
belts. They got the U.S. title. The only thing they're missing,
That big
the
one.
biggie.
And I heard a bold rumor for Royal Rumble. Did I tell you that rumor?
What's your
I think
rumor?
I did. My prediction, we'll do a little early Rumble prediction,
All
not
right.
to go off topic. Stays on topic with yours, I'll go back. I think Keith Lee's going to win the Rumble. On the next night, he's going to turn heel, join the Hurt Business, be their world champion. The Hurt Business are going to help him win the Rumble. I
Huh.
can totally see that. Because what the fuck are they doing with Keith Lee?
Yeah.
It's sad. My favorite, good pick. Good
I
pick.
like the Hurt Business. I hate them, which is why I like them. They're
There you
doing
go.
their job.
I want to say Undisputed Era, but I feel like they're in limbo in a case of what's there really left to do there in NXT. Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor had an amazing match. I've been so impressed by Pat McAfee.
McAfee? Yeah.
Oh my God.
A former football player.
Punter. Kicker, yeah. Christ, man. That's such a... maybe Bullet Club, because they've been keeping it going in Japan. We're bringing Kenta in and keeping that still fresh and relevant over there this long later.
Yeah.
Hurt Business. I'm with you. Talk about where they started at the beginning of this year.
Look who's in that faction. Who expected?
Look at the
them to
look
be
at the
on top
fucking
anywhere?
studs in that faction.
Yeah, but looking at them like from
Where they were
like Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Who a year ago what was he doing?
eating
Was
and
he-
catering.
Yeah, wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
MVP a year ago. What was he doing? Nothing. Bobby Lashley a year ago was in some stupid feud with Lana and Rusev.
Yeah. Thank you. I blocked that. Glad Rusev's doing better.
And maybe the guy who's gotten the most out of this, the last but not least, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. That was a guy who's on the cusp of being released, in my opinion.
Thank God they gave this guy something to do because he's really getting to show how valuable he is.
This was a guy a couple years ago. He had that match in the CWC against Kota Ibushi, and the crowd
begged.
please sign
Yes.
Cedric. You know,
And then, of course, they put him in the Cruiserweight division and put him on 205 Live where he was sent to die.
another guy who's dangerously in that territory right now, who's lost all momentum. They're doing this stupid shit with Retribution. Is Ricochet? Look where Ricochet's at.
Yeah.
For
I think they're
Christ.
just teasing that eventual...
Is it fair to say Retribution's the worst stable of the year?
Yeah, they definitely didn't... After that, all that build-up.
Because I stopped
All the build-up they got as compared to the Hurt Business, who was just put together...
Yeah. I stopped listening to Mudvayne when I was like 16. So,
And I think the biggest problem I have with Retribution is the leader. Like, after all this build-up,
yeah.
and all the things that they did for weeks...
He's doing okay with it.
Your leader
on the mic.
is Mustafa Ali.
It does make sense story-wise for people to say they don't have like the hacker gimmick.
Yeah.
But that was...
I
feel like it's meant to go nowhere.
Sorry, you needed a bigger name if you were going to make that stable
I think it was a
relevant.
test run. They wanted to do something cool and edgy, and then somebody took a step back and said, "Guys, this is going to fucking work."
And I feel bad for guys like Dominic Dijakovic.
Dio Madden.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
Dio Madden was just an announcer on Raw?
Yeah, and I feel bad for those guys because they're finally getting a chance to be, on the main roster, on TV.
Yeah.
Mia Yim, you know what I mean? Like, these are people that really have some talent. Like, Mia Yim can work.
She's
not much on a mic.
She's just underwhelming to me, and she's blocked me on Twitter for no reason because I've never tweeted at Mia Yim. So fuck you, Mia Yim.
Huh.
I'm sorry, Shatter or Retro. What is her name? Fucking.
I don't remember. Who cares?
But the Hurt
unanimous
Business,
decision,
clean
the Hurt
sweeping
Business.
it, baby. Oh,
Hey guys, don't be afraid down there in that comment section below to tell
let
us
us know what you think.
who do you think should be the stable of the year? Who's your favorite jobber this year? Even if it's from AEW, you can say
It could be a guy from MLW, which is a show I feel like you need to watch. It's back. I really hope you watch MLW
Sure.
sometime.
Be a guy from Memphis. Who doesn't love some good old Memphis?
Next topic. Is it Danny Davis dressed like Sting in Memphis?
Is it Jeff Jarrett as a referee?
No arms. Earthworms for arms.
All right, guys. This one is going to be limited to just one brand here. I wrote it down because I feel like it needs mentioned. As much as AEW gets mentioned, I feel like NXT gets lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Do it.
So we're going to start out NXT Female Superstar of the Year. Who you got, Travis?
For the amount of success she's had, I want to say Io Shirai. My biggest problem with Io Shirai is kind of my biggest problem with Shida. She's really good, and she's Japanese, and yay, we like her. What's her character?
That's always been the knock on the foreign wrestlers. Can they really get over?
Rhea Ripley's tremendous. That was a big boneheaded move to have her lose to Charlotte at Mania. I fucking love Charlotte. I love both those women. For me, low key, as far as turning all around, especially what I'm seeing lately with this newest stable, Candice LeRae has been tremendous. Shout out to Dakota Kai too. Who knew she was such a good heel? Candice LeRae and there's The Way. They're called The Way. Austin Theory, Indy Hartwell, Johnny Gargano. They are doing this. You can tell that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano are huge fans of 90s SNL. She's much better heel for me.
That's a good pick. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off yours a little bit. I'm going with Dakota Kai. I mean, just going off of a full year's work, Dakota Kai a year ago was just kind of lost in the shuffle.
Yay, Team Kick.
Yay, I'm Dakota Kai.
I have pigtails and
I
I'm
have friends.
Australian.
Yeah, I have friends.
I have
I'm nice.
friends.
I'm friends with all the good wrestlers, but I'm not one of them. Now she's totally come out into the spotlight with Raquel Gonzalez.
Yes. Yes.
New
Remember what her gimmick was? Oh, Shayna Baszler beat me up.
Yeah.
She broke my arm.
Now it's pretty much go fuck yourself. I'll stick my bodyguard on you. But I love what Dakota Kai's doing. Such a great heel. Well, like you said, who knew that was in there.
She's got that fire.
I don't know who brought that out of her. I'm guessing Triple H had something to do with it.
Is Sarah Armano, aka what's her name, Sarah Del Rey from
Yeah.
Ring of Honor? Does she still train all the ladies back there?
I don't know if she's still with the company or not. But-
Whoever it is,
But Dakota Kai, you get my vote. NXT female superstar. I think you're going to see that belt around her waist sooner rather than later.
let's stay on NXT. Two things. A, what did you think about them returning Ember to NXT?
I liked it.
I did
thought
too.
It worked.
Because she was nothing but lost in the shuffle every
Exactly.
time she was on the
wondering, I
ring.
knew she got injured, but then they never really did
Right.
anything. She's super perfect for. I think just like Finn Balor. I think she's super perfect for that brand. Finn Balor, I think, really was a lost opportunity on the main roster, which a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But I actually think Ember Moon belongs in NXT. I think she's a great complementary talent. I don't know that I'm going to put the belt on her, but I definitely I'd like to see a heel run from her.
Marquee talent for NXT. My other one, what does Tony Storm do for you, honestly, from what you've seen? Now, there's a Tony Storm you see on Progress Wrestling, and there's been the Tony Storm we've seen in NXT UK and NXT. What's missing? Because I know you think something's missing. And was it right to turn her heel recently? I think it was right to turn her heel because she's a much better heel. Because she makes the cringiest, I'm Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Like, it's bad. Is she going to get lost in the shuffle, or could she be the figurehead a year from now for the NXT Women's Division? What do you think, Tony Storm?
As far as work rate goes, I think she has all the talent to go as high as she wants to go
It's up
in
to
NXT.
her.
Yes. I've never been a big fan of her as a babyface. I don't like the Motley Crue gimmick. I think it's stupid. But as a heel, I'm interested. It actually gives me some interest in her as a character to see what they do with it. I've always liked her in-ring ability. Obviously a Mae Young Classic former winner.
Former NXT UK Women's Champ?
Correct. She has the talent in the ring. I just want to see what she can do as a heel on a microphone as far as grabbing my attention and making me want to watch her get her ass kicked.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. You know who's under the radar for me? And two women, both in NXT UK. I don't know how familiar. You ever see Jenny? A lot of her. She does the Posh Spice gimmick. And Nina Samuels in NXT UK. Those two could be, if brought to NXT and used right.
Probably shouldn't bring up Shotzi Blackheart. I know you're a big fan of her.
Fucking howling! Stop howling! I like her, but I like Ruby Riott better, so what's the fucking point? You know?
Ruby Riott, can I just say, please stop cutting your fucking hair.
I don't like it.
I don't.
Next topic.
NXT Male Superstar of the Year. Who you got, Travis?
For me, it's plain and simple. Karrion Kross has brought a much-needed X factor to that brand. That guy's got it. I've been saying it since he's been Killer Kross in AAA, MLW. I praise him on our MLW show. Great guy. What's funny as shit about Killer Kross, or whatever you want to call him, Karrion Kross, I used to tweet him about Slayer and Misfits and just music when he was in MLW and AAA. Nobody knew who he was. And Scarlett Bordeaux's Smoke Show. That was her name in Impact. My God, what a fucking star. And you know, that's a guy Vince sees and he goes, my God. They just brought him back recently. I like how they brought him back.
He won the belt. Obviously had to relinquish it.
I don't think he should have beat Keith Lee in that fashion and that fast. I think Keith Lee should have got a longer run. What about...
That whole thing felt stupid.
It felt off.
Why'd you put the belt on Keith Lee if you're just going to have him drop it like
Yeah.
that? I know you're trying to bring him up to the main roster. Then why put the belt on him?
Yeah. But what about you, Michael?
This is one of my toughest decisions that I have to make out of all these categories.
It's tough.
I do like your pick. I like Killer Kross. I have trouble calling him Carry On.
Carry on.
Yeah, I don't-
You want to carry on, or you want to check your
I'm gonna
luggage?
check that.
It's good to be back.
If I have to deadline pick one, I'm gonna go with a safe pick.
Baby.
Adam Cole, Bebe.
Just for being that figurehead.
I mean, the first half of this year was Adam Cole Bebe. I mean, that long title run really has taken NXT and put it on his back. While a lot of guys were out injured,
yeah.
he picked it up and pretty much made NXT still watchable just by being himself.
Yeah.
And he's always had that I want to root for you kind of heel gimmick to him.
Tweener.
Yeah, he's got that little bit of badass to him. and of course he's got that Shawn Michaels in him and in-ring ability. Really good on a microphone. And talk about doing something with nothing. His match with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And where that came from, remember the clip from the Pat McAfee show where it was a shoot work?
Everyone thought it was a shoot. It's a fucking work,
And
guys.
it was that angle was so under the radar when they did that, and it broke on social media. It made everyone care about that match so much more in a way. If they didn't care, it at least got eyes on that match. It made me watch that match
gets a lot
live.
of credit for that match, but you're only as good as your dance partner.
But see, the thing is, McAfee should get credit. McAfee, whether you like him or not, in this group with Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, he's a great 80s heel. Yeah. He is a great fucking guy. I want to get in there and just smudge your nose and rough up your collar.
Especially that he was a kicker.
Exactly. That is just natural fucking
makes
heat.
it even worse.
I've enjoyed all McAfee Mania this year.
But much like Bam Bam and LT at WrestleMania 11, where everyone was surprised at how great that match was.
A lot of Bam Bam.
A lot of that goes to Bam Bam. I think a lot of this should go to Adam Cole.
What about when Reggie Green wrestled Steve Mongo McMichael in WCW? Reggie White, excuse me.
Yeah, that was not good.
By the way, rest in peace, Kevin Green.
Yeah, Kevin Green.
That's really sad.
Rest in peace.
Comes in thirds. There it is. There's the thirds. Continue, Michael.
But you have to give a lot of credit to Adam Cole. He's got a lot of that ring general in him where he probably, when they were working out this match, was like, what kind of training do you have? What moves are you good at?
Yeah.
And we'll put them in there. I think that's where you saw a lot of things from Adam Cole in the structure of the match and allowing McAfee to really do what he knew he could do well.
Yeah.
And taking that match to the next level by putting it in the right spots. If there's one thing I can put NXT up against any other wrestling company in the world today. Match quality, I don't know that there's a better company.
It all depends what you're looking for. Now, match quality, there I could say you can put New Japan in there, but you gotta, it's apples and oranges. If you want streamlined, no chance to catch your breath, match, no selling, strong style, then that's your bag. That's fun.
Yeah.
NXT ain't what it used to be.
No.
But for what the wrestling business ain't what it used to be either, by the way, guys. I still think NXT puts out the most consistent product. Besides, SmackDown's gotten really good, and we'll get there.
And they don't overdo it. That's the great part about their pay-per-views. You get 4 or 5 matches.
You still can't compete with the takeovers. I don't care who you are.
You get
They're still my favorite
pay-per-views. You're going
pay-per-views.
to get 30 minutes at least.
Yep.
You're going to get told a story in the ring.
Exactly.
You're going to get a 4-star match
You're not gonna get,
all the
hey,
time.
it's a stadium showdown. Now you're going to get a shitty cinematic match with Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. Not everything's a winner.
That was really disappointing. That was really disappointing.
That was a disappointing match.
And talk about a disappointment there with Velveteen Dream this year.
Oof.
Probably my biggest letdown this year. Now, a lot of that goes to his problems on social media or that he's being accused of.
All of that goes to his problems
So,
on social media.
Everyone knows that I'm a big Velveteen fan.
We all were. What a waste! And it's not go a hate. It's not your heel heat now. It's nobody cares now. The bloom's off the rose, and it's too touch and go.
Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. So, I mean, let's be honest. Did everyone know that Stone Cold used to be his wife?
I did.
And did you care?
I did at the time.
You still rooted for him, though, didn't you?
Next category, Michael.
I mean, not to make light of that, but I mean, it's kind of cherry picking as far as.
Wait, do we want to do another category? Or we want to take a little break, see what the best of clip from years going back.
Sure.
All right, when we come back, year-end awards continue. Slam Pigs reunites. Jinder Mahal. Paid $200 for Jinder Mahal.
Who's he facing?
Let's see.
Who's it going to be? No opponent?
Who is this? What is going on? What? It's Finn fucking Balor! Finn Balor! Finn Balor!
saving her.
Could it be that tape that just came out?
He's in a sticky situation. Rollins.
Why does that ruin everything?
Michael Slam Pigs has successfully invaded live event universe that's over. What did you think of the show?
Really good show. Really good show.
I can't complain, it was good. Road WrestleMania Tour, Coach Roman Reigns pushed the show. And if you guys ever wonder why they push Roman, come to a house show. For Michael and Travis, Slam Pigs Podcast, see you guys next week. On! Hello, sir. How are we doing? Pretty good. This is the first edition of Slam Pigs Podcast. Hibiki TMD. I'm Travis here with my brother Mike. How you doing, Mike? Yeah, it's we just.
We are back, man. It was always fun when you busted Lee's balls, Michael.
Lee, it was a good time. I hope you didn't take it personal. It was all in good fun.
But no, this has all been good fun. We are back. We are going down year-end awards right here, Slam Pigs Podcast. Where are we at, Michael?
We are on one of my favorite categories here, and it might be the toughest one because there's so many people to think about here. It's such a broad category. This year's Best New Star. Travis, who do you like?
I really like Darby Allin as a new star.
All right.
That's tough. That is tougher than it should be. Probably once again Karrion Kross. I got to go Karrion Kross. He's taking up 2 awards tonight. Two piggies.
All right. Karrion Kross getting all these awards this year.
Yeah.
Travis, I think we need to get you an autograph or something.
I don't think I got to give a reason for either one of those guys why they should be new stars.
So he picked 2 there.
No, Karrion Kross is my pick.
Oh, okay. Darby Allin is your runner-up.
Honorable mention, runner-up, Darby
All
Allin.
right.
You like what they've done with Darby Allin, or is it 2? You're Sting.
I like.
What do you think about Sting now that we're on that, coming back?
What do you want me to say? Could they be any more WCW without being WCW sometimes? That's my biggest thing with AEW. So many run-ins. Are you sure Russo's not running this shit? Because there's so many schmazzes and run-ins at the end of every fucking show. Can we ever just have a finish that doesn't involve 12 people in the ring beating the shit out of each
Or a
other?
finish that doesn't have a Cody Rhodes in the match.
And Brandy Rhodes, please stop opening your mouth.
Michael, your breakout star of 2020.
Man, this is probably the toughest one for me. Honorable mention for me this year.
Honorable mention again for me, Shida. Sorry.
Honorable mention for me, Jey Uso is going to get the honorable mention for me this year. Going from the tag team division into the singles division, getting put right in the spotlight there in the main event picture.
And not only being put there, knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, the guy can seriously work. I feel bad for Jimmy. Like,
well, I don't, since he has like 25 DUIs. You reap what you sow.
But Jey Uso really done a lot this year. Really like his stuff. My winner this year's 2020 breakout star, Ahmed Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Ahmed Johnson. He's the best new sensation.
Best wedgie every year.
Best undies goes to Ahmed Johnson.
Lifetime Achievement Award for wedgies.
Breakout star for me this year is probably Got to be Big E. It's probably my breakout star this year. It was really tough between him and Jey Uso. The reason I give it to Big E is because he doesn't have any help. He's by himself right now. He doesn't have Roman to lean on. He doesn't have Paul Heyman. He doesn't have his buddies in the New Day. Yeah. Big E, your new Intercontinental Champion, by the way.
Yeah.
Just won the belt. I think we were all expecting a big push for him this year. I think it's long overdue with him. I don't know if I'd like him more as a babyface or a heel.
I hated him as a heel because they didn't let him. I like this side of Big E.
I like the idea of him as a heel now if they let him be more of himself instead of that stand there with a mean look on your face.
5 clap cocaine.
Yes.
Let's lift some weights, motherfucker.
But he's got to be my breakout star of the year this year. I like where he's going. A year from now, I could see him in that main event picture. I think the sky's the limit for him. I don't want to see the New Day get back together as much as everybody's like, I miss them. I really don't.
The time's come.
I think it's time for Big E to branch out on his own. I think we realized he was the one that needed to be on his own the most. He was definitely what made them the most entertaining.
And look, think about it. Some of my favorite tag team acts, Heart Foundation, Demolition, Legion of Doom, But see, the Legion of Doom had that longevity, but they went through slumps, too, with popularity, times changing. Demolition.
Let's be honest, their work was not very good.
Demolition, the Hearts, the Rockers, I think they're still talked about today because they weren't together for 14 fucking years like the New Day or something. Yeah. Imagine if the Rockers were together for 18 years. It would take so much sizzle.
Rock and Roll Express.
And then waiting 18 years... and then waiting 18 years for Brett to win the IC belt.
We'd be talking about that Marty Jannetty fire then, instead of that Ricky Morton fire.
Well, we talk about Marty Jannetty meth, I guess, now.
or evidently murdering people and then saying he didn't.
Yeah, wow, Marty Jannetty. Someday we'll interview
your
him.
Life together.
Well, he'll be here one day to interview. Okay. But no, solid pick.
I like Big E. I could tell you were a little disappointed with the pick there.
Wasn't disappointed. It's just bigger things are on the horizon, I feel, for the big man.
I feel like he really broke out on his own here at the second half of this year, and I think they're finally putting him in some relevant stories. I like to see where they're going with this Intercontinental title run. I'd like to see him get some good challengers, some good guys to work with, like Sami Zayn. I don't mind Sami Zayn as a heel. He's definitely annoying.
Maybe Nakamura, maybe.
Nakamura would be a great guy for him to work with. Cesaro. Some great mid-card talent on the SmackDown roster could really be utilized with Big E there to really springboard him.
Hey, I have a hell of an idea. Since, he's just there, how about you do something with John Morrison?
He's on Raw now.
Well, fuck me. Female Superstar of the Year, Michael. I'm going to let you go first on this one, since I went first last time. Female Superstar of the Year across all companies on this. I think it's pretty clear as day. As much as I have her disdain as her old babyface character, as much as I don't like her work rate in general, it's pretty obvious who mine's going to be, but yours could be a humdinger and a surpriser, so.
It could be. My female superstar of the year this year is probably going to be kind of anticlimactic. I have to give it to Asuka. To be honest, I think she was my last pick for female of the year as well.
Now,
the last time we did this.
I can already see people in the comments or people online giving you shit because she was handed the belt because Becky got knocked up. I get that. Lots of belts have been handed over the years in wrestling, and good runs have come out of it, though, at the same time.
But everything on Raw in the women's division has revolved around Asuka this year.
Let's talk about that Raw women's division this year.
It's definitely missing Becky Lynch. It needs another top star. I think the addition of Charlotte is definitely needed. I think you're going to have to see that Charlotte-Asuka feud down the line. But as far as carrying the torch for a whole brand for a whole year, at least in the women's division, you have to give Asuka credit.
It was like carrying a branch covered in feces, but considering what was on it, but she did her best. Liv Morgan squandered back in the Bride Squad.
Yeah, but I think the writing was kind of on the wall there that she wasn't going to be a singles
She's
draw.
no Sable.
No.
Wow.
She's hot.
What a sentence.
But I just don't think her work rate's good enough to be in that main event picture by herself. Asuka, basically in the middle of everything that is the Raw women's division, whether it's singles, tag team champion now as well. Asuka is kind of
And it sucks the way she lost it on the count out to Sasha Banks just to enhance like another angle.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's wrestling. It's wrestling, guys.
Travis, who you got?
I think it's pretty obvious. Bailey. It's got to be Bailey. Now, I hated the heel turn originally. I thought it was lame. I thought the music sucked. But something happened week after week after week. It grew on me.
She's got that Karen look to her with the new bob haircut.
Totally perfect for a heel right now in this day and age. And I'm not going to lie either. She's impressed me work rate this year. She really has. She hasn't really had a lot of stinkers. I've seen some her and Sasha Helen still pretty good. Her at SummerSlam, pretty good. Bayley, she was so impressive as just a hateable Karen on the mic. The Sasha breakup, I really wasn't invested in because I can't stand Sasha Banks either. For me, to turn it all around and to just dominate the length of days with the title and the quality of matches put in month after month, week after week, I got to go Bayley.
That's a good pick. Yeah, what do you say we go off the cuff here and add a category? How about female breakout star of the year this year?
For me, just as they're kind of doing stuff with her, but to just completely take her where she was in a thrown together team with Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss has been just killing it for me as the evil princess.
Yeah, like the little female version of Bray Wyatt.
Or Candice LeRae, like I said.
Actually, my breakout female star of the year this year is going to be Bianca Belair.
That was right there on the tip of my tongue too, and I love those Mr. Perfect vignettes. I know a lot of people.
love 'em.
I know people hated those on social
Why?
media. What do you just hate fun wrestling? I guess
It's a gimmick that makes sense.
it made total sense, and I expect big things in 2021.
I think you're going to see the strap around her waist
Sooner than later.
in the next year, whether it's on Raw or on SmackDown. Wherever it is, you're going to see a belt on Bianca Belair. She's got the total package. No offense, Lex.
Easy.
She can work. She can talk. She's entertaining. It's what I want in my wrestling. A female that can capture my attention both in the ring and on a microphone. She's got what it takes to be the top talent on either brand.
Female tag team of the year. Ooh, woof. For me, I'm just going to say the Iconics. I thought they were just, you were supposed to hate them, guys. That was the act. No, they can't really work that well. They were just so
Not
good as an
together
act.
anymore.
I'm aware that's where I was getting. And they broke them up. And fuck you, WWE. I am Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, I guess, is going to be your pick.
That's going to be my pick. I just don't see enough in any other organization to really change my mind on the women's tag team division. It's a underutilized division in all of wrestling. I think it could be a lot better than what it's being used.
No, again, we don't want Shimmer and Ice Ribbon, and I'm sure
No.
Impact's ladies tag division is smoking.
It's okay. It could be better.
Yeah.
But I think as far as what they've done throughout this year, you have to give it to Shayna and Nia.
Can we
Are they
move?
entertaining? Fuck no.
Can we move past this category as quickly as possible now?
Can I just take a moment to say that Shayna and Nia are only getting the award because there's literally no one else.
Yep.
They both make me want to fall asleep every time they open their mouth. I mean, I get why they're being made these bullies because, that's all you can really do with them. Nia still looks super stiff in the ring, unsafe. I don't trust her being in any main event singles run.
Nepotism is strong.
Shayna, totally unentertaining on a microphone. Could you be any more bland? Someone forgot to teach her promo abilities. But on to the next category, Travis, as you requested.
Tag team of the year. All promotions.
Ooh,
Right?
baby.
I know.
This is where it gets juicy. I like it.
I want to go FTR,
All right.
but they've already dropped the belts. They've kind of lost a little sizzle. I still got to say the Gorillas of Destiny, man, and Bullet Club, they're just good. Gallows, you know what? Gallows and Anderson have taken a shitty situation, totally turned around. Now their Bullet Club is back in a way with Omega. They've been putting consistent matches, just feuding an Impact. Oh, it's fucking tough. I guess you could throw the Young Bucks in there. They are the champs. I'm going Gallows and Anderson, just from where being released to being one of the most talked about angles in all pro wrestling right now, with belts.
My tag team of the year, your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You didn't see this one coming. The Street Profits.
There you go.
Can I just tell you how refreshing it is to see a team like the Street Profits on television? At first, when they were put on TV, it was a little much for me. I felt like they were trying to push them down your throat a little too much. But I'm not going to lie, the more I listen to them and I see them on TV and I watch them work,
Yeah.
they kind of grow on you, to be honest. I mean,
Montez Ford is a star waiting to
Dawkins
happen.
is a good big. I'd like to see him put on a little more size to be that big man in the team. But Montez Ford, oh my God, talk about a fucking worker. That is the highest frog splash I've ever seen in my life. No disrespect, RVD.
It's pretty good.
But that thing is phenomenal, and I like the way they work as a team. They're entertaining on the microphone.
They get it.
You can tell that they like what they're doing. They're hard workers.
They get that you just can't go out there, do a million flips, a million high spots, and that's going to get it every time.
Their match with the New Day at Survivor Series, I thought was really, really underrated. I thought it was a really good match.
Now, disclaimer on almost every category here. The booking is never these guys' faults, the way they're booked. We're just going basically strictly off of what we see in their work rate, their ability, what they're capable of.
I would love to
if
see,
booked properly.
I would love to see the Street Profits get to work with Gallows and Anderson.
Me too.
I would love to see that match, along with a lot of other great tag teams out there in AEW.
I'd like to see the Street Profits in the Bucks, just because I'm no Bucks fan. I think the Profits would outclass the Bucks.
I think they would show them up. Yep. I definitely think the Young Bucks would be lost.
Now, you got to throw in teams for me like Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. I love that team.
Hard-hitting, classic, old school style.
Bobby Fish, O'Reilly.
Yes.
Can't underrate Red Dragon. Like New Japan teams, too. There's a couple. Oh, the Motor City Machine Guns back in Impact Wrestling. The tag team scene off the charts right now.
I just wish, as always, I wish WWE would do more with their tag division.
Like every year on Slam Pigs, we've ever said that.
You got Cesaro and Nakamura just kind of sitting there.
Don't even need to be a team.
Two fantastic workers that you put together as a tag team. You even gave them a run with the belts.
Yeah.
And now they're hanging out.
PNP in the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
The best friends. You got teams like that. SCU. Look at that. This may... Okay, our final category, Superstar of the Year. I feel like there's going to be two answers in this. For me, there's only two answers. Flat out. I want to hear your Superstar of the Year first. Do you want me to say mine?
It's obvious. Roman Reigns.
Drew.
Oh. You're going the other side. Okay.
Drew.
Tell me why Drew and not Roman for you.
Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love Roman Reigns right now. Drew started the year.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
The WrestleMania we attended, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. We already knew Drew was eating that pen in that match.
I think we went and smoked a cigarette.
We smoked a cigarette when that match came on. Nobody cared. Drew McIntyre started the year in one of the best recent Royal Rumble matches in recent memory.
That was really cool to see.
Made man at WrestleMania. Definitely beat Brock. Now, not always given the best angles, but his match with Orton at SummerSlam I thought was a stud fest. They beat the shit out of each other. Consistently, Drew McIntyre, even though he's lost the belt, he's already won it. He has been the new breakout guy, face of that company. That's why I just, not by much, because Roman is right there, trust me, but there's really only two guys for me.
Yeah.
And we said, that's it. Drew McIntyre, what a turnaround from 3MB to top of the mountain. Congratulations, Drew McIntyre, and I hope 2021 doesn't get you fucked up booking-wise.
And this is no disrespect to guys like Moxley, Omega.
Moxley had a hell of a year, too.
But, I mean, to be honest, I have a hard time comparing their runs this year with these two. They've literally been the focal point of each brand for most of the year. I mean, Roman was out for a little while because of the COVID stuff.
Right.
But
I know people were pissed when he returned at SummerSlam because we thought it was how he just beat The Fiend and Braun, and then we thought, oh, here we go again. But no. Michael, your reasons why Roman Reigns is your superstar of the year, the shitty year, 2020.
Because Roman Reigns has taken SmackDown and made it way better. Just by himself.
Grabbed it by the throat, you could say.
Yes. SmackDown was suffering badly.
And I hate to age. Last thing I want to do is age ourselves, because we're no spring chick. We've been saying this since 2016. Turn him heel! What a concept.
Thank you, Jesus.
It wasn't hard, and we even said give him a mouthpiece.
Did I say something about Paul Heyman with him?
I'm pretty sure everyone did.
I think one of us at least mentioned that he needed a mouthpiece.
God.
Like, he doesn't need somebody to talk for him, but he needs that guy in the background.
There's nothing wrong with a cocky shit-kicking heel like The Rock. There's nothing wrong with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, but they got to be captivating. They got to be able to draw you in with the words. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair. Brett, not so much. Brett didn't. That wasn't his forte. But guys like that.
I love what Roman's doing all across the board. The reason he gets the nod over Drew is because of what he's single-handedly done for the brand. Not that Drew has not done a lot for Raw. He has, but I feel like a lot of times
it's such a shame he's on Raw.
He's still not the focal point.
No,
that's the problem
Fiend.
with Drew.
Yeah.
They're still making the secondary feud the focal point, and if you're going to be the top guy on a brand, you need to be the top focal point.
Yeah.
And Roman has never been the secondary focal point on SmackDown since he's come back. He has always been the main event, the most seen thing on that brand for a reason. When he's on the television right now, their ratings are the highest.
When he's on the television, okay, neither one of you or me watch SmackDown Live, fair to say, ever.
No.
Very rarely. But if I see my little clips on YouTube, it's always a Roman Reigns clip. What'd Roman do this week recently? And I never thought I'd fucking say that, but the head of the table, the tribal chief, the storyline with Jey Uso, the cock-strong, I'm the alpha male motherfucker, Roman Reigns is what it always should have been since the second that tater tots line, I'm so excited to be back, came out in, 2014? Ever since then, it was meme city with Roman Reigns. Shitty, null, nobody gives a fuck storylines.
Got exposed by Cena on a microphone.
And you know what? I always felt bad for Roman during that because it was never his fault. He always put in, there's matches with AJ Styles back in 2015. Good hand, great look. Finally given some chicken salad to work with and not chicken shit. And it's amazing what a meal that can make. What a pick. What a year for Roman Reigns.
You finally let him be what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Instead of making him what you want him to be.
And I'm so happy that the remission thing for him, too.
Yeah, I mean, who couldn't be happy for a guy who's beaten cancer?
Yeah.
Or leukemia.
And it's so funny because he's a heel.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's another one of those guys that you just can't help but love how much of an asshole he is. He's so arrogant and thinks he's so much better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And he can pull it off.
And the best part about his look, what fits that, he doesn't even have to say a word, really.
No.
He doesn't.
Just the way his facial expressions.
Swagger.
Correct. And Paul Heyman does the perfect job for Roman Reigns. It's totally different from him and Brock, too, which is what makes it great.
Now, for once, I'm actually interested to see when it could not, but for when Brock finally does return, I'm actually interested now.
The problem with that is I think you're going to see Brock go to Raw.
You think they're just
And I don't think they're going to intertwine.
Yeah.
At least not this year.
Grow a set,
There's
WWE.
that big rumor that it's supposed to be Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania.
The year-end awards are in the books. Now, I wanted another disclaimer at the end of this episode. By no means are we WWE diehard cultists. We're not AEW cultists. We call the shit like we see it. You can like our opinions or you cannot. There's nothing worse than the IWC, and I think the muddied waters since AEW has come along. These aren't sports teams. We say it all the time. If it's good, we're going to say it's good. If it fucking sucks, we're not going to bullshit you guys. Wrestling, at the end of the day, like movies, music, everything that entertains you, Michael, is completely subjective. There's really no right or wrong answer besides, I just saw Nia Jax work a 5-star match. Nia jerks off. That's a lie.
And like I said at the beginning of the show, guys, let us know what you think.
Yes.
Who are your favorites?
We do this for you guys.
Who do you think should be Superstar of the Year? If you think it should be Omega, tell me why. If you think it should be Okada, tell me why.
If you reach out to us on Twitter in the comments below, we guarantee at least one of us will get back to you and give our thoughts. And we appreciate you guys for being patient, sticking by the channel, especially this year, and for waiting for this guy to come back. It's good to have you back, brother.
Baby.
Until then, we're back. Happy 20.
One more thing.
Okay,
before we say goodbye.
All right.
Guys, what I really want to do now that we're back, another thing I want to do on each show, if you have any ideas for topics that you want us to go over on next week's show, it could be anything. It could be AEW, for God's sake. I know everybody wants to hear my opinion.
That's going to be AEW every week now because they know you hate AEW.
Everybody wants my opinion on AEW. It could be retro. It could be a retro storyline from the 90s, from the 80s.
When you remember Repo Man stole Randy Savage's hat? It could be that.
Yeah. Remember when Jean-Pierre Lafitte stole Bret Hart's jacket?
Do you remember when Ted DiBiase stole a literal black woman from Dusty Rhodes at SummerSlam?
You remember when Ted DiBiase stole the World Championship?
Anything, guys. Let us know. We'll put out polls on Twitter. We're back. We're going full force. We're back. We're not fucking around. Slam Pigs Podcast. Michael, one more time. Where can everyone catch you on Twitter?
Check me at Mike the Slam Pig on Twitter. As always, you can check me out on Facebook. The Mike Larkin.
I thought you were going to say the Mike Larkin Express for some reason. You should change it to that now. You should.
But yeah, that's where you can check me out. I'm usually not on there a whole lot, but check out the Express. Travis, where can they check you out?
I think I know this drill by now. As always on Twitter at the HibikkiTMD. That little red button right down below, it says subscribe. Hit it. Go ahead. You got nothing to lose for all the best retro gaming, pro wrestling, heavy metal podcasts, everything in between. Terry plays, Let's Plays, Hibiki Quickie. It's all coming back. Some new ventures, some new horizons, and catch me every Monday night on Broken Optics on Twitch, the Monday Night Melee. Who knows what we're going to play? Until then, Michael, oink oink.